But something else that I've never understood, again, it's being a spiritualist, and most other religions, because it is about power, and the more extreme they get, the more it's about that power. And most other religions, if somebody were able to communicate with spirits, they're made a part of the church organization. This was especially more prevalent in older days, but it still happens all over the world. You see some little kid that suddenly spouts really deep thoughts, and see how fast they get whisked off to some monastery or nunnery, or some religious leader takes them in and starts trying to use those deep thoughts and to control them. Had the power to heal? Oh. Come on up here, we've got you now. Because that was all about, we have abilities, you don't. So you must listen to us. And if one of you shows up with ability, we pull you into the control group. Partly so we can control you, but partly so we can still say, we've got the ability, you don't. Spiritualism was all about the idea that you're a healer, learn to use it. Why should I give you a message? You talk to them, you're a medium. We'd rather teach you how to do it. On September 11th, churches all over the country opened their doors so their congregants can come and pray. We didn't. We didn't have to tell you. We didn't have to make a grand gesture to remind you, or even more than that, say, come here, I will lead you in prayer. We knew that scattered all over the country now, past 30-some years, we've got people scattered everywhere that have learned that lesson. Something happens, they just start sending out healing prayers. Scattered all over the country, we knew were spiritualists who just started doing it. Because they've been taught how. They've been taught they could. They've been taught they should. I've always said we're a weird religion. And here's another reason why. We don't seek to control. And I'll be honest with you. I have enough trouble leading my own life. I don't want to lead yours too. So I definitely don't want to control. I'd rather you do it yourself. You know what I love? Lots of things, but this is one of them. I've had people come up to me over the years, and they'll say, somebody came to me and asked me what religion I am, and I said, I'm a spiritualist, and I was a little afraid to say it because I didn't know how to answer things. And then they started asking me questions, and I'm thinking, I don't know what to say, and I don't know. I found myself answering their questions. I knew stuff. I love that. I love that. Somebody asked me about mediumship and I was able to explain it. Somebody's able to ask me about healing and I was able to explain it. I love that. That we have the knowledge, that we have the ability, that we are the religion, and that we live it. I love that. Well, I will not stand up here and threaten you with eternal damnation. Goes against spiritualism. And I will not stand up here and promise you that if you pray in the right direction, at the right time, with the right words, and I'm going to tell you what all of those are, you'll get into heaven. I'd rather you learn mediumship so you no longer have fear of death, and when somebody passes, it's not a loss. It's a transition to a new understanding of your relationship with them. I'd rather you develop your psychic abilities so that you can perceive information about people and know when somebody's a good person and somebody isn't, somebody's telling you the truth and somebody's lying. I'd rather you become a healer, because I know the power of healing. I know the power that healing has, that when chaos seems to be raining down on your life and you can stop and say healing, it brings calmness, it brings peace, it brings a little oasis of serenity where you can take a breath and start taking care of business. I would rather teach you how you make certain decisions affects your life. And if you want to keep bashing your head against the wall, don't blame life. Not when you could look around for another solution, for another way of handling things. I gotta tell you, it's part of my incredible diplomatic abilities. I'm on MySpace. I've got belong to like a dozen or more groups there, and well, you know what the biggest thing most people ask about? Am I gonna have a boyfriend? Am I gonna have a girlfriend? 70% of the time. That's what they're asking. The rest of the time, they're wanting to know why their relationship's in such mess. And when I first got online, I would try to offer suggestions and help and whatnot to people about their relationship problems. Until I started getting more and more information from them and realized, well, this is the fourth relationship I've had with an abusive person. And I keep choosing the same kind of people over and over again. I go for exactly the same type of person. What can you do to help me? Choose non-abusive people. Over and over again, no matter what the situation is, these people walk into it again. Well, rather than saying, do this, do this, do this, and you'll have heaven someday, I'd rather say, do this, and do this, and you could create heaven here now. I'd rather you lived your religion and created a place that is just wonderful, even if it's just around you. Because imagine what would happen if you could get this a few 100 million people to work at trying to create their life as a paradise here. What an effect it might have. I don't have a few 100 million. I've got you. I've got you, babe.
Right.
And I want you to create a life for yourself, a paradise. I want you to create a life that's a paradise for people around you, to the best of your ability. But I also want you to carry away this certain knowledge that the people who carry out these horrible acts, no matter who it proves to be, they weren't doing it in the name of religion, any religion. So many religions are about control, but most religions, especially in the wider scope, the big ones, they are about helping people, trying to ease people's burden through life. And they find different ways of doing it. But I do correct people when they say the September 11th cowards were Muslim extremists. I say, no, they weren't. They went to strip clubs before doing it. Drank a lot of alcohol. There's a couple of things that Islam strictly forbids. These weren't extreme Muslims. These were people that had been taken control of, who had given up their free will. They did it willingly, and decided that they were going to commit a murderous, cowardly criminal act. The people in Mumbai, they're cowards. They're murderers. They're criminals. To my mind, even calling them terrorists elevates them too high. They're criminals. And you'll wonder why sometimes I wouldn't have any problem with them bringing back the whipping post. So please, whatever it turns out in this situation, as you send your prayers to all those who are in need, keep that in mind. It wasn't any religion that did this. It was a desire for power, for control. And there's a few people too cowardly to stand up and say, here I am. I'm going to fight you. They did it by stealth and criminal means. Please do keep that in mind, and please do continue sending prayers to that situation. I keep having the feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, I don't think it's over yet.